Hi, I'm Russian expert Putin and Russian army, and people ask me, why didn't Russia take Kiev in 3 days? The West and Ukraine keep calling Kiev in 3 days Putin's original plan. And to be honest, it was one of the biggest psyops in this war. They repeated it so many times that even Russians believed it. Russian propaganda picked up this narrative, and it was a big mistake. It played against Russia. But let's be clear. Putin and Russian military never announced any timeline for the operation. And they definitely never said that they'll take Kiev in 3 days. It was a setup. Weeks before the operation, US media and American generals started pushing this narrative. General Mark Milley said that Ukraine will fall in 72 hours. It was on 5th February, and CIA Director William Burns said the same. Think about that, the same people who armed Ukraine for 8 years suddenly said that their ally would fall in days. Why would they say that? Because it was a trap. They deliberately provoked Russia by expanding NATO. They knew that as soon as Russia crossed the border into Ukraine, a big proxy war would start and Putin would not be able to win fast. The plan was to turn Russians' disappointment into anger against their own government. That is how psychological warfare works. You also ask why Russia, one of the strongest armies in the world, cannot defeat a small Ukraine. But here's where you are wrong. First, Ukraine is the largest country in Europe, with 40 million people, a trained army, and a huge industry inherited from Soviet Union. Second, Russia is not really fighting Ukraine. What started as an operation against Ukraine became a big proxy war with NATO. The alliance fully supplies Ukraine with money, weapons, intelligence, and new technologies including Palantir and Elon Musk's Starlink. All the drones striking deep into Russia are made in Europe. Since 2022, the West has sent more than $200 billion to Ukraine for fighting Russia. If the West stopped helping, Ukraine would collapse in 1 week because it has already lost its sovereignty. The West literally makes decisions for Ukraine using Ukrainian people as tools. And credit to Ukrainians. They are warriors, just like Russians. We are very similar, and that's why the war is so hard for both sides. Russia didn't want this war, but we will do everything to secure our borders. And we hope that peace comes as soon as possible. Subscribe and let's keep in touch.